So the outline for the presentation, we're having technology trends, a decision to adopt or adapt. Then the other outline is why use technology trends for businesses. And the next one is tech adaptation requires innovation. And also technology trends to look out for post-COVID-19. At the beginning of every year, we usually have a lot of, like I say, predictions about technology trends that are available in the industry or to expect. 2020 was not left out. At the beginning of the year, we had a lot of technology trends that were being postulated to trend for the year. If you go to Google, these materials are easily available. You see journals from Forbes, Deloitte, all of them talking about technology trends to expect in the year. But we are all not expecting a pandemic like COVID-19. And so now that we're in that experience, a lot of things are going to shift. I'm sure that at the beginning of the year, we're all not used to languages like social distancing, physical distancing, lockdown, and all the rest. Even in this period, we had a situation where the technology term 5G was being talked about by everybody. You have everybody either you know about it or you don't know about it, talking about it. So these are buzzwords that will be available in our society and our industry. So we're looking at the technology trends, and we are saying there's the need for a decision to choose either to adopt or to adapt these trends. And this has to be taken by businesses, organizations during this time and after this experience. We are saying, what does it mean to adopt? When you adopt a technology trend, we are saying you are taking that trend as it is designed, that technology device as it is designed to function. So you are taking it like that and using it for the advancement of your business. That is what it means to adopt it. While adaptation, we are talking about a situation where you are using it other than the replicate design. What is designed to use, you are using it otherwise. You have seen through it and you have seen something that could be beneficial to your business and your organization, and you are trying to use it to that effect. So that is what we mean by adapting technology trends and the difference to adoption of technology trends. The decision to either adopt or to adapt technology trends are being affected by a lot of factors. Some of these factors, you can talk about the culture of the people, you can talk about their level of education, you can talk about their politics, you can also talk about the economic strength or empowerment. These are some of the factors that will determine either you are going to adapt or adopt a particular kind of technology. These are imagery pictures that shows us the differentiation about adaptation and adoption. We are saying that adaptation is when you use something other than its replicate use. Drones usually are used for surveillance purposes. We have seen media people also use it for coverage of some difficult areas and all that. But during this COVID-19 experience, we have seen it being used to identify COVID-19 hotspots. That's an adaptation. So we have to sit down and say, we can use this other than for surveillance. And that was being used. And we are saying an example of adoption is when schools use collaborative apps for remote learning and for passing information across to their students. They want a situation where the students, when they are at home, are being able to still stay with their academics. Like an educationist discussed with me, he said, these things have to be done because what they believe is when you leave your books leave you. So they are trying to ensure that students are still being up to date with their studies. So they try to adopt the technology that provides collaboration and meeting that already exists and using it for education purposes. So that's an example of adopting a technology. But we are saying, can we look at the characteristics of organizations that will easily be able to adapt a technology in their business? What are their characteristics, the attributes of such organizations. The first one we're looking at is connections. Most organizations and businesses run departments, they run groups, and they run different segments in their businesses. But in this scenario, we are saying there must be connection for you to be able to easily adapt technology trends. There must be breakdown of these walls, silos of a lot of process ownership, in the sense that you're able to bring people together under the same process to be able to achieve a particular result. We are saying, let there be no barrier to information sharing. Let there be no barrier to idea sharing within the organization. Let people be able to move within departments and be able to understand what is being done. In this kind of organization, people even grow their careers outside the one they already are used to, because there is flow of information. So it is organizations like this that have very good connection between their employees and department that will be able to easily adapt technology after this experience of pandemic COVID-19 that we have. Another characteristic is collaboration. Your organization must be able to collaborate effectively. You are not an island. Some of the problems you are having, some organizations have already solved it. So we are saying, let there be networking. Let your staffers and colleagues be able to go for networking events where they can meet with industry experts, meet with even competitors, stakeholders, customers. With this, they are going to be able to understand new trends and easily adapt to solve your business needs and challenges. Then the other characteristics we'll be talking about is the culture of the organization. Some organizations are so punitive that when it comes to you making any small mistake, you can be shown the door. But for your organization to be able to adapt effectively post-COVID-19, you must develop a culture that allows for people to be able to try out new things, albeit within a limit of risk, because one of the factors that determines organizations being able to adopt or adapt to technology is economic strength. So we are saying it's not that you have all the money to waste, so you must be able to manage that risk, but that should not shut down innovation. To allow people to be able to take some level of risk, take some level of initiative, to be able to try out new things, not being afraid that there will be reprisal or marginalization after that kind of experience. So this is important for organizations that will be able to adapt new technology trends after this experience of COVID-19. So we're now going to why use technology trends for businesses? Because everybody is talking about it. Because it's a buzzword, everybody talks about a particular kind of gadget, a particular kind of new technology, and so on and so forth. You have to determine why you need to use this technology. I was making allusion to the issue of the lockdown that the government did during this COVID-19 experience we had. A lot of debate as to why will we use what the Western world are using just like that, without thinking about our own environment, about our own people, and see where we can adapt what they are doing. And so this is very important. You need to understand why we are using technology. And we are saying two perspectives that you need to consider. Are you using technology as a change driver, or you are using it as a change enabler? This is very important for you to decide before you take on a technology trend. If you are using technology as a change driver, we are saying this is the evolution of technology that requires you to adapt in order to maintain a competitive advantage. The operative word there is maintain. What that means is this kind of change that you are trying to take on in technology, is it a change driver for you? What this means is, if your organization does not take on this change, will it still exist or will it go into extinction? In Nigeria, there was this time not long when the economy decides to go cashless. We are saying people should do their businesses and transaction cashlessly in such a way that there are limits to amount of cash you can move around. Businesses that deal in cash movement and transaction had to adopt broadband connectivity, because if that is not done, they are not going to exist again as a business, because that will limit the amount of cash transaction they can have in their organization. So that becomes very important for them to adopt broadband connectivity. So in that case, technology for them is a change driver. Or you are seeing that the technology that you are using in your organization, your customers have moved on. At that point, if you still must maintain your competitive advantage, you must change technology. At that point, we are saying technology for you is a change driver. So you must look for how to ensure that you adopt or adapt that trend for you to still stay afloat and maintain a competitive advantage. The other perspective is this technology a change enabler? We are saying in this case, you have a choice to adopt the technology in order to increase your competitive advantage. So there is a choice here. What this means is this technology, what advantage will it give me to be able to increase my profitability? And what that means is we are trying to say, if I take on this technology trend, I will be able to save some things. An example is cloud computing. A lot of businesses are have to move from having physical servers and thinking their head around security, power, accessibility, and all that. They've decided to move their storage and their content into service providers that are tailored, and their own business model is to provide cloud services. So they are able to focus on their key services that will bring about increase in their competitive advantage. An example is for banks. Most of them are to say, okay, let's concentrate on banking service. Let's move all this server thing. We have to ensure that there is a data center that is being powered. We provide everything for it. We decide to move them to service providers that are tailored towards this. Let that be their own headache. So we are saying for that purpose, technology that is being adapted is to increase competitive advantage. So for you, you may want to think about this, that new trends, what are my strengths? What are my focus? What is my business model? Then can I just take on this technology and be able to increase my competitive advantage? So these are some of the things you need to think about while you are trying to use a technology trend, adapting it for your competitive advantage, or also using it as a change driver. Factors to consider. One of these factors is talk about your internal capacity. You need to be able to think through what will be the impact of this trend on my internal operations. What we are saying is, do you have the capacity internally to be able to handle this? Also, can your budget take care of this trend you want to move into? Will I have to retrain my staffs? Will I have to employ the services of experts? These are some of your internal capacity you need to evaluate before you venture into taking on a new technology trend. The other thing to look about is your market needs. If you take on this trend, will it benefit your customers? To what extent will it be relevant to your customers? You don't want to take on a technology trend. A typical example is in the industry, right from last year, we've been talking about adopting the IPv6 as a way of ensuring that we conserve IP address and we're able to use it across several devices. But you have to think, We have to come together and say, when we start using this, will our customers, are they ready for this? Will they be able to adjust their own infrastructures to be able to accept this new trend we want to talk about? So for you too in your business, these are some of the things you need to think about. If you change your technology and your customers are not up to date and they are not even under compulsion to change, then you lose that segment of the market. So these are some of the things you think about. The other thing you think about is your suppliers, because you are not an island. No matter how self-sufficient your business or your organization is, you still need services of other people to be able to take charge of some of your aspect of your business. So we are saying you also have to look at your suppliers. Will they have the materials to be able to take care of this? You don't want to just take on this technology and when it is time for you to scale, you are not able to get supplies. These are some of the things to consider. Then the last thing we'll be looking at as factors to consider before taking on new technologies is the vision of your business. What really is your vision? How does this technology relate to your strategic plan? How does it position you to achieve your goal? It is not just because everybody is talking about it, everybody is moving to cloud. So me too, I want to move to cloud. I know we have to make a decision on some of these things, not quite long, about moving a particular application to the cloud. We have to look at it. How does this fit into our goal? So you don't just say because it's a trend, everybody's moving, so keep moving. You have to consider these 4 things to be able to choose whether to adapt the technology trend as it is. So moving forward, we want to talk about tech adaptation requires innovation. What we are saying is before you can effectively adapt a technology trend, it requires a level of innovation. It means people have to think through their processes that already exist and be able to see what to tweak. They must be able to look intently at the device that they want to adapt and look at the things to change, the things to improve. And that is why tech adaptation requires a lot of innovation. I know all of us can Google and know the definition of innovation. But I want to take this definition of innovation from a story about the invention of the telephone that I saw recently. And we all know, we've read it before while in school. As engineers, we've been told. But something jumped at me when I was reading that story again. I read that story from a book, "You Can Be a World Changer During This Lockdown." One stories of people who made a difference, and you too can. So this jumped at me. I'll just read a small excerpt from it to be able to drive home this point. This is the story of the invention of the telephone, as from the book. What most people do not know is that Bell, that is Alexandra Bell, was not the first to experiment with a talking device. Much research was being done in that field already. There was this German school teacher named Reis, who had earlier developed a device that would carry whistling and humming sounds, but not the human voice. So there was a device already that can carry sound from place to place, but not the human voice. So what Bell did was, he had to critically look at this device. Bell now discovered that there is a small screw that controlled the electrodes on Reis' invention, that this screw needed to be adjusted 1/1000th of an inch. That means he looked very well at that technology and look at, okay, to be able to transfer human voice, we need to increase this electrode 1/1000th of an inch. So he went ahead. When he tuned the screw with this minute of amount, he was able to transmit speech loud and clear. So what this means is you have to think, you have to look at that process, that device properly, and look at what it can change to be able to adapt it into voice communication. And that's what brought about us being able to communicate voice across that device, and that's metamorphosized into us getting the smartphones that we all use today. And the first voice that was, first message that was transmitted across that device was, "Mr. Watson, come here, I want to see you." And that was a breakthrough. So we are saying innovation is the key to adaptation. One other thing that strikes me there is that Bell was not even the only one doing this at that time. There is somebody called Elisha Gray that was doing the same thing. But Bell got to the patent office just like 1 hour ahead of Gray to register his patent as the owner of this. So we are saying that what you are thinking about, that device, that technology trend that you are looking at, you're probably not the only one looking at it. And so the earlier you do it, the better for your organization and businesses to thrive. In the post-COVID era, businesses will need to look for ways to render their services effectively with minimal human contact. And this calls for innovative thinking using technology. This has brought upon us the need that businesses that needs a lot of human contact needs to look for ways to use technology to minimize this. The current trend now that we have, we talk about remote working, we talk about virtual meetings using different means. Even court systems now are being done through virtual and collaborative apps. We talk about classrooms, churches, almost all churches now broadcast live using different applications. So post-COVID, businesses that deal with a lot of human contact, we have to think innovatively to be able to use technology to minimize this. So I'm going to be sharing a few technology trends to look out for post-COVID-19. Some of these just came to my mind, and I think I will just share it as I round off this presentation. Other businesses that can quickly adapt technology innovation to meet post-COVID-19 market needs. I put down here telemedicine. I'm sure we are all familiar with this. It's something that already exists. We have a group of doctors that already brought out this kind of platform where people can access medical personnel and all that. But I'm thinking, can this not be taken further to like telehospitals, in the sense that hospitals have these platforms for their hospital where their patients can interact with their doctors? This will be very good because for telemedicine, I probably am talking with a doctor that I've not met before. But most hospitals now have their customers' information online, building database for some of this information. So when I talk to a doctor from that place, he can access my previous information, that's my medical record, and be able to advise. I'm sure you have this kind of opportunity for most people during the lockdown. There are some things you really don't need to go to the hospital for. You can use the wearable technologies where you can take your pulse and take your BP and all that, and it's been transmitted through internet to the hospital app where the doctor can look at it and prescribe drugs for you. And it's only when it is critical that you have to come to the hospital premises. I think the telehospital idea can be adopted or adapted to be able to decongest the lobbies in most hospitals post-COVID-19. The other thing I look at here is the drones and unmanned area vehicles. These things already exist. I already talked about adapting it for hotspots for COVID-19. What about courier services? This can be adapted for courier deliveries, where it is basically human contactless. You just use it. Why don't I want to be the business that when somebody wants to buy a phone, you can get it in 2 hours within the city because I'm using a drone to do delivery? And this could go a long way. The other thing I thought through was fintech, payment systems. One of the things we were told is because we have a lot of money movements within the society, that is one of the ways where infectious diseases can be transmitted from person to person. And truly, when we look at the class CD of the people in our society, bus drivers, tricycles, market women, and all this. They didn't do a lot of cash transactions. And I'm saying, can we not get platforms and apps that can make some of these transactions easier for them, getting their buy-in and all that? These are some of the thoughts that come to my mind that I think we can easily adapt after this era to be able to ensure that we minimize the effect of contagious diseases moving around in our society. In conclusion, businesses that will thrive post-COVID-19 need to be agile to adapt quickly to the changes that these times present. It is very important. Agility. We might need to break down some traditional rules or some traditional processes and allow for a level of agility. One of the terminologies in Agile talks about the ability for organizations to succeed early when they are very agile, or sometimes to fail fast and be able to come back and know several ways that things cannot work. So businesses will need to be agile post-COVID-19 to be able to navigate these times. Thank you very much for that presentation.
So Yemi took us through the fact that trends are always there with us. COVID-19 is a trend. We were not expecting it, but it has come and we need to either adapt or adopt. Now it stressed on the difference between adaptation and adopting. You mentioned the fact that drones were not initially developed to identify COVID-19 hotspots. No, I mean, COVID-19 just happened in late 19s and 2020. But now we can see that drones that was in existence before that is now being used, is adapted to actually deliver on part of the activities that we need to do concerning COVID-19. You mentioned also the fact that collaboration is key, and then you also need to stay connected. You need to look at your culture, and you need to look at how you can use technology to actually drive your business. For technology to be able to drive and also to be able to enhance your organization and your operations, you need to adapt. You need to look at it and check the one that will actually work for you. You have to innovate. Innovation, is said, is the key to adaptation. For you to thrive in this COVID-19, for your organization to remain standing, you actually need to improve and look at what you can adopt and what you can adapt to fit into your business operations. So once again, thank you very much for that, Yemi.
Government, as it is, are making a lot of efforts in being able to ensure that we have broadband penetration in several places. I'm sure we have businesses that are doing a lot of, trying to ensure that there are fiber cable everywhere, trying to ensure that there is a point of presence in every local government, ensuring that schools are being able to get internet to work. So there are a lot of efforts that have been made in this country that will affect some of these things. One of the things we used to talk about is let there be light. There is light, it is easier for things to move around. I'm sure the Holy Book makes us to know that even when God wanted to create everything, the first thing he did was to let there be light so that things can be easily seen and changes can be made. And I'm sure you know that the government is doing a lot in this direction. The company too is also doing something like this. There's a lot of investment that is being made into technology. We have several organizations that are doing this. VDT is one of them, ensuring that we have spread in several states and business capitals of the country where you can access broadband connectivity and internet. Although it's very expensive to do this, but the companies are adapting new ways of ensuring that there is power and their businesses are staying afloat just to be able to provide this service. It's very possible. Or somebody with an innovative mind, everything is possible. Like the example I gave about the telephone. When you look properly at things that are not working at the moment, you can look at things to tweak. So I'm sure that if we have payment platforms that are not that very easy to use, we need to change. So if we have examples of such, then people need to work on it. People need to look properly at those kind of payment platforms. If they still want to ensure that they are in business, you still have to look at it and see a way to get feedback like this from their customers and ensure that things like that are resolved. When I was going through the slide, I said you have to look at two perspectives to be able to choose whether you want to take on a new technology trend. You want to look at it that is this trend a change driver or a change enabler? If this particular trend you are talking about is a change driver, it could be capital intensive, but it might be necessary to make such kind of change to maintain your competitive advantage. For you to still be able to stay in business, you might need to make that investment to be able to still stay in business. But if it's a change enabler as it is, there is a choice to make. Will it help you to increase your revenue after that investment or initial investment is made? Going forward, will it be able to help you increase your revenue with a good business plan? Then that becomes a choice. So in that case, you can choose either to make that investment now and reap the benefits going forward, or a situation where it has become compulsory. If you don't do it now, others will do it and your business does not exist again. So I think to answer that question, you need to check if that trend is a change driver or a change enabler.